What's going on? Today I'm going to be giving you guys some tips that I use to get over the fear for hard tricks. Woohoo! So I'm going to be using two examples for this for different difficulties. So some of you might be beginners, so I'm going to use the backflip as an example. But some of you might be more advanced, so I'm going to use a double backflip as an example as well. So the first step is to educate yourself. So you want to look up tutorials online, or you want to ask people some tips on how to do the trick.
Oh, so that's how you do it.
So for a backflip, there's probably thousands of tutorials on YouTube, so make sure you check that out. Analyze what people are doing right, analyze what people are doing wrong, and then you can learn from them to apply that technique. There's probably a lot less tutorials on double backflips out there, but you can still find slow motion videos to analyze. So make sure you do your research before trying the trick so that you're mentally ready before doing it with your body. Another thing you can do is ask tips from friends that have already tried the trick. So you can learn from their mistakes. If they struggled to learn the trick, they can sometimes give you pointers from their experience. So the next steps is baby steps / progressions. So you want to take as many progressions as possible before trying the trick so that you know that your body and your mind is ready for it. So for a backflip, you can use stuff like this, like going on the ground, practicing the tuck. So you practice the jump, then tuck. So another thing you can do is jump onto your back onto blocks like this for a backflip. So what you can do is just jump and tuck, and that gets you ready and used to flipping backwards. So another thing you can do is to back roll over a block to practice getting over your head, so getting over the fear of doing that. So it's gonna look a little bit like this. Gonna jump onto my back roll, and then land back on my feet. So you want to practice that as many times as you can. So for the double backflip, the main progression would be 1 1/4 backflip. So obviously you should already be super comfortable doing standing backflips. So we're going to be doing 1 1/4 backflip onto our backs onto a big mat. So if it makes you more comfortable and you're trying to learn this trick on the trampoline, you can also do the backflip onto your back on a trampoline, which looks like this. So once you're comfortable with that, you can actually do backflip 1 1/4 onto your back and then push yourself off your back to go onto your feet to finish another backflip. That will get you used to the motion of doing 2 rotations over your head. So you want to make sure to not rush any of these progressions. You want to drill them 100, 1,000 times to make sure you're ready before doing the trick so that you don't injure yourself. Oh, some of these tricks like the double backflip can be extremely dangerous because you're going over your head twice. So never rush the progressions, always take your time with it. And when you're 100% comfortable doing all the progressions, then you can move on to the next step. So the next step is getting ready. So you want to make sure that you're mentally and physically prepared to do the trick after you do the progressions. So one of the biggest steps for me is to get good sleep. If you don't get good sleep, your body's going to be weaker and your mind's not going to be as comfortable to get over the fear of the big trick. So you want to make sure you do that, and you can also try and eat properly. If you eat properly before and make sure your stomach's not too full, it makes it easier because then you're giving your body good energy from the foods and you're not too full. That makes it hard to do the flips. Another thing you want to do is make sure you have the perfect spot to learn your trick. If you're doing a backflip or a double backflip and you're doing it on a trampoline, that's no problem. But you want to make sure you find the right trampoline because sometimes backyard trampolines are softer than the ones in a gym. And if it's another trick such as a con gainer or something, you want to make sure you have the right spot to learn it outside. So this one kind of goes against another point that I said about being healthy, but another thing you can try is having a coffee or an energy drink. So sometimes if you don't sleep well and you need the extra energy, it can help to use those liquids to boost yourself. So the next step is called almost there. So this is right before you're about to do the trick, whether it's in the gym or outside. So before you do the trick, you want to make sure you warm up and you stretch. So one of the biggest things is to warm up your ankles and your body so that you're loose to do it. The reason I say ankles is if you're trying something like a double backflip onto the ground, if you land short or even on a single backflip, you can land short and tear a ligament in your ankle by not stretching them properly. So make sure you guys do that. It's also important to warm up the rest of your body because the more warmed up you are, the more ready you'll be physically for the trick. So you want to make sure that you do the progressions right before you do the trick. So by doing the backflip and a quarter onto my back for the double backflip, I'm already ready physically to do the double backflip. So if you're still really scared of the trick and you're not hyped enough, you don't have enough energy, one thing that really helps me is to do another trick that scares me, but that's not as hard. So let's say something like a double gainer would really scare me outside. So what I would do is a double backflip before, because the double backflip is still scary, just not nearly as scary or as hard. But it gets my heart pumping, so it makes me more energetic and more ready to do the double gainer. So you want to make sure you do another trick that's scary but not hard for you. So the next thing you want to do is remove all distractions. The worst thing when you're doing a trick that you're scared of is when you hear someone screaming in the background and it messes you up mid-flip, and then you can really hurt yourself. So make sure you don't have any visuals or audio distractions nearby, and make sure that you can just concentrate on your trick. So this one's a little bonus, but it's one that helps me the most. When I'm trying to have energy and get hyped for a trick, I put on one of my favorite songs. You want to make sure that you pick a song that you already know, so that you know when it starts, when it finishes, so you don't have anything unexpected while you're doing the trick. I can't even count how many times I've tried con gainers to the song Right Back at It Again by A Day to Remember. There it is! So you want to make sure you put your music on, but also be careful of earphones. You don't want to put on earphones and then you're doing a double backflip, and then mid-double backflip they come out, that distracts you mid-flip, you open up and land on your head. So I would stay away from earphones unless you're 100% sure they're not going to move at all during the flip. So the next step is to get help. This could be really useful for a backflip because you can ask a coach or a friend to spot you and help you flip.
3, 2, 1. Woo! Yes!
Some coaches are even advanced enough to spot a double backflip. You just gotta make sure you find the right one. You also wanna surround yourself with some friends that can not only help you physically, like spotting, but they can also help you mentally. If one of your friends have seen all your progressions and see you do them 100 times, they'll know that you're ready, so you can go to them for positive reinforcement and they can tell you that you're ready to do the trick. The next step is called just do it. Do it! Just do it! So you should be physically and mentally ready to do the trick, so you should just go ahead and do it as long as you're safe. So if you found your best spot possible, for me the spring floor, then you can just go ahead and do the flip. And if you're doing a double backflip, then you can just do it onto the trampoline. So, if your goal is to not do a double backflip on a trampoline, but it's to do it off a drop, you can use the trampoline as a progression as well. So the next step is called didn't do it ? So if you didn't do the trick, that's okay. You can do it another day. Sometimes it's better to just take a step back and relax. Sometimes you can stand on top of an obstacle for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour just getting ready to do the trick. So I've had some times where I'm standing on top of an obstacle for 15 minutes just waiting to double gainer, but I can't do it because I'm having a hard time getting over the fear. So in those times, sometimes you've just looked at the obstacle so much and too long that you just need to take a step back. You need to forget about it for a couple of minutes, just walk off, do something else, warm up, do other tricks for a few minutes, and then you can come back to it. Another thing you want to do is just go back to the progressions. The progressions are the biggest and the most important thing about getting over fear for a trick. So just go back to the progressions, drill those until you're ready, and then you can do it another day. So the next step is called go beyond.
Go beyond! Plus!
So when you mastered the trick and you've finally done it, then you want to go beyond and take it to the next level. So you can do the trick and do a harder variation. So for the backflip, you can do a variation like a back fold. And for the double backflip, you can do something a little harder, maybe like a round off double backflip. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys get over the fear of your tricks with it. Make sure you comment down below and let me know all the cool tricks that you landed with the use of this video. If you want to see my latest video, click here. If you want to see another cool video, make sure you click here. And don't forget to subscribe. And as usual, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Good.